Thanos is actually back. Thor one-shots that bitch. Then Thor walks his black bridge, right, to pretty much to go to nowhere, like a nowhere realm. That's when we see Thanos behind a gate and his pawn, the Executioner. I just can't believe this is happening right now. This is the Immortal Thor issue 20. I highly recommend go read this book because I was completely mind blown about this. And if you guys read Donny Cates' run, you guys would know what's happening. So Thor is far from Asgard and he meets with his stepmom, I guess, Freya, the one who raised him. Thor talks about last time I've seen you, it was about fate. And I was like Thor issue 23 of the Donny Cates run, where he talks about he saw a vision of Thanos. And as a king, I will never have, an heir to the throne. But fate has made me a liar. Freya asks Thor, like, do I have a grandchild? And he's like, you do. Who is it? Is it Jennifer? Nah, it isn't. But it's someone that wears green that's on Asgard. And she's like, a moron? I was surprised as anyone, Freya. Freya's like, okay, but tell me, your darling mother, everything about what you know, or I'll skin you alive. Thor talks about how there was another version of Thor who pretty much lost his humanity, and that's where that version of his son is from. Thor says that he will be king, and then Freya's like, but not your choice of king. Your choice was no choice. You said the throne was cursed. I had been gifted visions. When we last spoke about the dark gift of the Black Winter, I saw my fate, which I have that comic cover. It's so badass. And fate was indeed cruel. But when I defeated Thanos in the time of Bor, the shadow of that Black Winter seemed to recede. I reforged my hammer. I saw the mending of the Bifrost. I learned to smile again. But I should have known a winter only leaves to make way for another one. With Thor's explaining that this is still possible to happen, or some form of that. With all this dialogue, what summarizing of it is that Thor explains that this feels like my final days of my life. Freya says, and will you run from it, my son? I will run from it. I will fight it. I will rage against my death. I will even trick my death if I have to. Nor the life will be given or taken to prolong my own. This I vow. Freya says that you don't need any advice from me. You're my son. I know who you are. Your fate doesn't end on death, and I know that. The Bifrost comes in. Thor, you are needed. Thanos, he's back. Come with me. Say no more, Sif. I'm with you. They get to Asgard and Thanos is like crucified on a damn wheel. He weeps, and as he weeps, the storm strikes more brutal with every each passing moment. In Asgard, Thor flies up there. Thanos, speak to me. Thor, why have you returned? Why are you though here? Thanos explains that he's here because of Thor, because he learned compassion. Thor's like, I do not understand. I did not do this to you. He explains when he got sent back in issue 1 or 2, he went back to the Utarg land of, the gods. And with that compassion, he asked the Utarg gods, like, hey, can you please have some compassion? Said, no, fuck you. You're getting crucified, bitch. They said I could no longer be with the messenger. I would become their messenger. And now he is dying. So he asks Thor, please give me mercy. Take me out. But first, their message, the bridge across the great river, Vimir, that you crossed long ago with Loki, it has returned. And beyond, it is the gate to the Utarg land. That gate will soon open, Thor, and someone must pass through it, one way or another, and now I am done. Thor charges up his hammer and goes, "'Tis done, storm clouds. Thy message is at peace, and I'm sorry for thy loss." Thor comes down and tells Lady Sif about what's happening, and we need to go to the other side of the Bifrost. Journey with me, my lady, first to my hall to gather my magical weapons. Now here's the Black Bridge of Vimir, and he has to walk through it with the Tormod and the Odin's Belt. Thor tells Lady Sif that this is his final journey possibly, and she kisses him, saying, this is not a kiss goodbye. You will return. Thor travels on his own, and she even insists, like, get the Avengers. He's like, no, this is my journey. She's like, please, Thor, please return. That is not a goodbye. Now, Thor is in the Utarg land pretty much, and he talks about how he has the Tormod, the Odin's Belt, and Mjolnir. Thor, look upon me, All-Father. I have tasted your death once, one way or another. The Executioner will taste it again. With Thanos in the Utarg land. What the fuck? I'm so excited for the next issue.